India is building a $9 billion city on an island right next to the Malacca Strait. This isn't just a port, it's a military chokehold. For decades, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands were known for pristine beaches, uncontacted tribes, and absolute isolation. But right now, bulldozers are tearing through the rainforest at the southernmost tip of the archipelago. They are building the Great Nicobar Development Project. On paper, it's a transshipment hub meant to rival Singapore and Dubai. But in the war rooms of Beijing, this project is viewed very differently. It is the final link in a chain designed to suffocate China's economy in the event of a war. Today, we're looking at why India is pouring nearly 75,000 crores into a remote jungle, the environmental catastrophe it might trigger, and why this specific island is China's Malacca nightmare. To understand the project, you have to understand the map. Great Nicobar is the southernmost island of India. It is actually closer to Indonesia than it is to the Indian mainland. But look at what sits right next to it. This stretch of water is the 6-degree channel. It is the western entrance to the Strait of Malacca. The Malacca Strait is the world's most important economic artery. Roughly 40% of the entire world's trade passes through here. More importantly, 80% of China's imported oil flows through this narrow choke point. For years, strategic experts have called the Andaman and Nicobar Islands India's unsinkable aircraft carrier. It allows the Indian Navy to stand like a gatekeeper at the mouth of the strait. Until now, that gatekeeper was sleeping. The islands were undeveloped. Naval bases were small. Logistics were a nightmare. If you wanted to refuel a massive aircraft carrier group here, you couldn't really do it efficiently. The Great Nicobar Project changes that. It turns a remote outpost into a fortress. So, what exactly is India building? The plan is massive. It covers 166 square kilometers. That is a city roughly the size of a large chunk of Mumbai, dropped into the middle of the ocean. There are 4 main components. First, the International Container Transshipment Terminal, located at Galathea Bay. This port will be deep enough to handle the world's biggest ships, the ones that currently skip India and go to Colombo or Singapore. Next, Aduluzi Airport. This is key. It will handle tourists. Yes, but dual uses code for military ready. It will support fighter jets and heavy surveillance aircraft. Then, a power plant to run it all. And finally, a township, housing for hundreds of thousands of people in a place that currently has about 8,000 residents. Economically, the goal is to capture the transshipment market. Right now, if a big ship wants to send goods to India, it often docks in Sri Lanka or Singapore, and smaller ships bring the goods to Mumbai or China. India loses millions of dollars in revenue every year because of this. Great Nicobar aims to steal that business back. But let's be honest, you don't spend $9 billion in a jungle just to move shipping containers. This brings us to the Malacca Dilemma. This is a term coined by former Chinese President Hu Jintao. It describes China's fear that in a conflict, a hostile power could simply block the Malacca Strait. If that happens, China's energy grid goes dark in weeks. Their economy collapses. By building a major logistical hub at Great Nicobar, India is essentially locking the gate. The Indian Navy already operates the Andaman and Nicobar Command. But this new port allows for permanent deployment of larger fleets, submarines, destroyers, and long-range surveillance drones can operate from here, monitoring every single Chinese vessel entering the Indian Ocean. It counters China's string of pearls, their strategy of building bases in Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Myanmar to surround India. India is responding with an Iron Curtain in the east. But there is a reason this island wasn't touched for centuries. Great Nicobar is one of the most ecologically sensitive spots on Earth. To build this Hong Kong of the South, India has to cut down nearly 1 million trees. Galathea Bay, where the port is going, is the prime nesting ground for the giant leatherback turtle. Then there are the people. The island is home to the Shampan and Nicobarese tribes. The Shampan are a particularly vulnerable tribal group. They have lived here for thousands of years in isolation. Critics argue that this project is an ecological genocide. The government has promised compensatory afforestation and tribal protection. But environmentalists argue you cannot simply replant a million-year-old rainforest in Haryana and call it even. It is the classic clash. National security versus natural security. New Delhi has decided that the threat from China is greater than the threat to the ecology. The Great Nicobar Project is a gamble. Economically, it's risky. Competing with established giants like Singapore is hard. Ecologically, it's devastating. But geopolitically, it is India's boldest move yet. It sends a clear signal to the world. The Indian Ocean is not just a trade route. It is India's backyard. And the gatekeeper is finally waking up. What do you think? Is this strategic advantage worth the environmental cost? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.